Hi everybody and welcome to Rude English. My name's Ed and my aim with these videos is to teach you real English that native speakers use. And today we're going to be talking about phonetics. Some of you might already be familiar with phonetics, for others it will be completely new. Phonetics is the best way to understand English pronunciation, so if you want to understand native speakers perfectly, or if you want to sound like a native speaker, then don't go anywhere because you don't want to miss this video. So, what is the International Phonetic Alphabet, or the IPA for short? Well, the IPA is a collection of symbols which represent the sounds of a language. In English, there are 44 sounds which make up the language, and these can be represented by 44 different symbols. These symbols can be arranged in a table like this. The position of each symbol in the table tells us how the sound is produced. Lots of the symbols look like the letters of the English alphabet. Don't let that confuse you because they actually represent different sounds. In the top left we have the single vowel sounds, also known as the monophthongs. And you'll notice that there are some small dots next to some of the symbols. These two dots mean that it's a long vowel sound, so the sound lasts for longer than average, compared to the other vowel sounds. The sounds in the top row are all produced with the mouth partially closed, and the sounds on the bottom row are all produced with the mouth open. The sounds on the left are all produced with the tongue towards the front of the mouth, and the sounds on the right are produced with the tongue towards the back. The sounds in the middle are produced with the tongue and the mouth in the middle position. Next, we have the diphthongs, or the double vowel sounds. And these sounds transition between two single vowel sounds. The single vowel sounds that they transition between are obvious from the symbols. Below the vowels, we have the consonant pairs. Each pair is produced with the mouth in the same position. The only difference is that one is unvoiced, which means we produce the sound just by using the flow of air through the mouth, and the other is voiced, so we use our vocal cords to produce the sound. Finally, on the bottom row, we have the single consonants. These are all produced with the mouth in a unique way. And you can see that most of them are voiced, so we use our vocal cords to produce the majority of them. So why do we need phonetics? We already have an English alphabet. Why do we need another collection of symbols to represent the sounds? It's a good question, so let's look at some examples, and I think afterwards it will be clear exactly why phonetics can be useful to understand pronunciation. How do we pronounce these four words? Are they all pronounced differently? Maybe some of them are the same. What do you think? They are all pronounced in exactly the same way. They are all pronounced pause. So these four words, they are all spelt differently, but they have the same pronunciation. And words which are spelt differently but have the same pronunciation are called homophones, and there are quite a lot of homophones in English. Let's look at another example. How do we pronounce this word? Well, I'll tell you, we pronounce it tia or tea. So actually, it's two different words. Two words which have the same spelling but a different pronunciation. These are called heteronyms in English, and there are quite a lot of them in English, not as many as homophones, but enough to cause confusion. So this begs the question, if some words are spelt the same but pronounced differently, and others are pronounced the same but spelt differently, then is English spelling a good indication of English pronunciation? No. English spelling doesn't accurately reflect English pronunciation, and this is why if you really want to understand English pronunciation, the best and the most accurate way is to use phonetics. So how can phonetics help us exactly? Well, they can help us to understand minimal pairs. Minimal pairs are a pair of words which differ by just one sound. and these can cause problems with new students. For example, seat and seed. You can see from the spelling and the phonetic spelling that they are different, but they sound very similar, and this can cause confusion. Phonetics can also help us to understand connected speech. Connected speech describes how sounds transform when native speakers speak naturally. For example, in the phrase, "Would you like a cup of tea?" When I speak slowly, it's easy to understand, but when I speak naturally, listen to how the sounds transform. Would you like a cup of tea? Connected speech is one of the main reasons that students find it difficult to understand native speakers. So phonetics can help you to understand how sounds transform when we speak naturally, and they can help you to understand native speakers. Finally, phonetics can help us to understand different accents. For example, the animal horse. For students who learnt American English, they can have trouble understanding this word because in British English, we don't pronounce the r sound. Whereas in American English, they always pronounce the r sound. So horse in American English sounds more like horse. Phonetics can help us to understand and identify these differences and avoid confusion when we're talking to people with different accents. So that's all for today. It was just a brief introduction to phonetics. Like I said, they're the best way to understand English pronunciation, and I use them a lot in my lessons, and I will use them a lot in future videos as well. So if you really want to understand British pronunciation, then please like this video, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos in the future. Thanks.